Star Smuggler. In this game, you are Duke Springer, Star Smuggler, and rogue about the galaxy. On your Antelope-class ship, kaboom! You travel about the Pavanis sector, double boom, that's the Pavanis sector, in search of wealth, and probably one step ahead of both your creditors and the police. I wonder if it says in the design notes who inspired this game. This game feels a heck of a lot like Solo Traveler, which makes sense because it's inspired by Traveler, which was itself inspired by a little book series called Dumarest of Terra from the 70s, 80s. The last novel was published in 2008. It's by E.C. Tubb. If you haven't read the Dumarest of Terra saga, or at least a few books, then you're not ready to play Traveler. You got to read a couple of these books. In fact, I would say that the Dumarest of Terra books, you pick 5 of those, boom, you've got your sector ready to go. They are the single most important source books for any version of Traveler you care to read. But we're not dealing with that today. What we are dealing with is another solo war game downloaded from the good guys over at, I think it's Dwarf Star. I'll put a link in the description showing you how you can get your own hands on a self-printed copy of this. This is a lot like Barbarian Prince. It's a lot more complicated. I've tried to film this several times over the past year, and I keep failing because it gets too complex and things get, I forget something that it just doesn't work. But I'm confident that this time, right, this is how we do. You run up against an obstacle, and you hammer through, and maybe you got to pull back, get a running start, kablam. So anyway, we're going to just kind of go through it. I may wind up cheating a little bit, because unlike Barbarian Prince that you sit down and play for half an hour, this can go on long. I'm going to record for about an hour, and then I'll edit it down to about a 30, 40-minute video, so you can see how the game plays. And if I, step out of my spaceship for the first time and get bushwhacked by 6 thugs who want to steal my ship and get murderized, which has happened to me, then I may just re-roll so we can, at least get the game started. At least show you how a few turns work, okay? You can learn the game as you play. Simply start with the first event, E001, read sections as necessary. You may want to read the important rules first, whatever. Okay, it's a realistic solitaire adventure. You play the game hour by hour, a day by day, 10 hours of activity each day, and 10 days to the week. That's what this paper is for here. So I'm going to tuck this up here. I'm going to grab my counters. So it's day 1, hour 1, and week 1. We've got 1 galactic year, but we'll get to that. Pencil and some paper is needed to keep track of all your possessions, blah, 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 blah. 10 hours each hour, you decide whether you'll travel somewhere new, stay in a place. You can spend an entire day just sitting, resting, recuperating, repairing. The end of each day, equipment breakdown is checked. Okay, so that's what the hours are for. And then we've got 10-day weeks. So we're going with a metric timekeeping because, I guess it's outer space and people don't have souls anymore. Your objective is to make your fortune, which hopefully means paying off the loan for your starship and hopefully making a few million besides. Ooh, I like the sound of that. Just staying alive and free is difficult enough in the dangerous worlds of the future. When a die roll is required, when it is blah, blah, blah. As far as the complex game, it's an entire role-playing experience which you conduct alone. My kind of game. Game masters of science fiction role-playing systems may use this as an adventure campaign guideline with appropriate rules adjustments to suit their own RPG system. However, it can be played blah, blah, blah. All right, I think we got everything we need. We're just going to dive right in. As they said, you can start with E001. Due to bad luck and loan sharks, your financial situation is getting desperate. Your small merchant starship never seems to have a full cargo hold, but operating costs are high. Your cash is almost gone, and another payment is due to the sector financiers. Maybe, just maybe, you can make ends meet if you look for illegal goods and begin to take your chances. Right, so we got 2 books here. We've got the rules book, and we've got the events book. Sound familiar? It should. You've been around the block a few times. You ain't no spring chicken. And I already messed up. There we go. You have consult Rule 201B to determine your starting attributes and your skills for your new career as a Star Smuggler. Then continue reading. All right, so Rules 201B. You can tell us rules because it's R. E is events, just like Barbarian Prince. Each character has 3 ratings. Marksmanship. They include a handy-dandy little crew roster, so Duke Springer is going to have a marksmanship of 5, hand-to-hand of 6, endurance of 10. High numbers is good. You can also have some skills. Any followers in your crew or party and any other creatures are going to be listed here. When a character joins your party, note his or her vital statistics. You can voluntarily dismiss or abandon. We'll get to that. Marksmanship. Measures your ability to fire ranged weapons, skimmer guns, sidearms, blah, blah, blah. Hand-to-hand is clear. Yeah, this is all pretty... This may be edited out. Endurance is how much damage you can take. You begin play as Duke Springer, a talented and experienced starship pilot, having trouble being successful in legal commercial enterprises. Your Antelope-class ship is speedy and versatile small merchant that can be operated by just one person, a pilot navigator like your own bad self. In addition, you are a qualified starship gunner, but they're only Tech Code 1, low quality. You are an excellent shot with smaller weapons. After a rough and tumble life in many spaceports, bars, and back alleys, your hand-to-hand combat is even better with a rating of 6. Almost superhuman reflexes, just like good old Earl. Coming from a high-gravity home planet, and because of your life, your body is in excellent condition. Your endurance value is 10. In addition to these, you have a strong cunning rating, which other characters do not. Oh, Rule 202. We know what cunning is. For the first time you play, roll 1d6. Hey, I got one of those right here. We're going to go with the fancy. Roll 1d6. I'm cunning a 2. I might not be the smartest cookie in the jar, but I am still delicious. Where do I write that down? Hand-to-hand endurance, cunning. Oh, there we go. 2. Boop. If you found the game too difficult or you lost, increase by 1. Yeah, you know what? We're going to do that. We're going to call it 3, because, like I said, I've been murderized a bunch. I haven't gotten very far in this game. It's rather complicated. When you feel you have become an expert, playing with cunning of 0. Yeah, I don't think so. All right, so that's it for our dude. He's a pretty good shooter, pretty good fighter, pretty tough, and when it comes to the brains department, he could do better. You have a sturdy and reliable Antelope-class starship built to Tech Level 1 standards, outfitted with a Hopper-class ship's boat, so that's the boat bay here. And here's our Hopper class. All right, we got it. The starship has 6 hypercharges. Where's the hypercharges? There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the boat has 15 fuel units. In addition, a stasis unit is mounted in the pilot's compartment with 2 CU capacity. There's crew quarters, main cargo hold. Your only money is in your pocket. D6 times 100. 300 credits. Do we have a thing for tracking credits? Nope. So I'm just going to put her right here. 300 credits. That's our stake. Plus 150. Oh, I got 450. Jackpot. So we're going to be starting with 450 credits. Let's see if we can turn it into 400 million. Your only money's in your pockets. You have no crew or hirelings. However, you do have proper papers. You're not wanted in any system. This is the first day of the week. You got 10 days until your first payment is due. Rule 203. 203E. There we go. 203E. At the end of each week, a loan payment is due. The ship originally cost 120,000 Cs, which is the money, and your loan is 300S interest due each week. So it's just every week it goes up by 300. In addition, you can pay back principal. Interest payments do not reduce principal, and even if you pay some of the principal, interest accrues at 300 for 10 days. So every 10 days, you've got to make $300, or else we're falling behind. If you default, because you can't pay the 300, you have 30 days to pay the entire principal, after which the loan company begins attempts to repossess the ship. Once you miss a payment, you can't make up with just that payment. The whole loan becomes due. Oh, incidentally, half the principal is due 10 years hence, and the rest is due 20 years, but you probably won't play long enough to worry about this. Using banks to hold some of your money, you can have loan payments made from your account in case you aren't around a place with banks when the week is up. All right, good. So we can kind of adjust on the fly. With all of that out of the way, we are ready to look at Rules 203 to see what we can do. We can stay in place. Now, we don't want to do that. Rest, recuperate, repair. At the end of each day, check for breakdowns, but we got 10 hours. So, during a day of travel and contact, you can attempt to make contact. See rule, we're going to try that. Oh, it says here, walk on foot. Oh, now I should point out, we're going to start off, does it say where we start off? You are currently at the sole planet of the Regari system. So we are right here. Rule 207A of the Pavana sector at the spaceport R2050. This morning you decide to take up a life of smuggling. Check over your starship guns, personal sidearm. Prepare to find profit through any means necessary. Right, so if you play through this game, you have the option of using alternative sector maps where we start at Regari, and instead of having to go to Polytech first, zoom in on this, you can go to Polytech or Byzantium or New Karma, or the alternate pattern number 3. Likewise, you start here in Regari, New Karma, Polytech. So it looks to me like stuff is going to happen here, and Kubro is way out here for a reason. It's going to take us some experience to get up there. I suspect it gets more challenging out here, but as I said, I haven't played long enough to get that far. So join me on this journey of discovery, and today we will hold hands as we venture forth. All right. All that silliness out of the way, we got to see what we can do. We're going to take a look at what do you want to do. We're going to make contact. Really, that's what all boils. Oh, God, I almost forgot. So each of these planets is composed of there's cards. This is so clever. This is why I wanted to show you. There's no cards. There's supposed to be cards here. All right, well, I'm going to have to go online and find those cards and make them appear here while I talk about this. And I don't think it's going to matter today because we're just going to hang out at the spaceport, try to find some cargo, and try to find a destination, and then we'll set sail. So this here are the two cards that fit together, and they show you where you're at. But it doesn't really matter. Like I said, first thing we're going to do is we're going to make contact. And we check the rules for that. Oh, my book is kind of falling apart here. That's not good. But that's not, you can't fault that's the printer, darn you, printer. You're looking at him. Not at him, you're looking at his hands. During a day of travel and contact, can be attempt to make contacts. Well, that's what I want to do. See Rule 227. Basically, in a contact try, you consult the entry and contact table, R233, for the result, so it may take many attempts before you find what you're seeking. Okay, so R227 is... turn to page 2. We're going to spend a day resting and recuperating. There's a possibility of an encounter roll, a D6. If a 6 results, an encounter occurs. It does not. In any contract, they are not modified regardless of how many days. If the contact results in an event, that means combat. Wait. Or causes the persons to go... What? Oh, if it results in an event that means combat, or causes the persons to go somewhere else, all RRR data's activities for that day are prevented. Okay. So... like most enterprising merchants, much of your time will be spent buying and selling. Contact tries are not possible in orbit or at an asteroid. Yeah, that makes sense. They're entirely voluntary. Contact tries possible if at least 1 hour remains in the day. You must leave your vehicle, but if the resulting event occurs at dispersed range, you can return to your vehicle for the start of the event. To make a contract try, cross-reference the area you're currently occupying with a D6 roll on the entry and contact table. So that 5... the result is either, and then we go to the table. So this is what we're rolling on. But wait a minute. Do I need the 6 for that? Contact during, that's during rest. The 6, okay, so if I rest to recover, I gotta roll for contact, and on a 6, I get a contact whether I want it or not. Because I'm trying to make contact, I simply roll on this, and I say, okay, I'm starting in the spaceport, and I am in, which system am I in? I am in, doesn't really, SIS. So a 5 is Event 002. All right, we're getting there. If I come up with an event that says system, kind of bring her a little closer so you can see. So where you see here it says SYST, then you kick down here and you figure out if I was in Regari, then I'd roll an additional D6. I didn't do that. So instead, all I got to do is I rolled event 002 here in the spaceport. Event 002. A repossession team is in the area. Ignore this event unless you have defaulted on your loan. I have not. And your starship is in the area. Okay, so that means nothing happens for this first hour. Advance the clock. Make contact again. This time we roll a 1, and in the spaceport we get event 019. Customs inspection. As you pass through customs, you're delayed by agents looking for anyone without papers, stolen goods, or items. They'll search the ship if you refuse to pay any duties or have anything improper. See event. Roll 1d6 to determine which type of item has duty charges. And already you can see how this game gets complicated quick, right? I don't have anything. Any vehicles? Oh, at 5s per vehicle, including your ship's boat or the starship itself. So, in other words, they're going to charge me $10. 5 for the ship, 5 for the boat. And then, is it 5 for the skimmer, too? Oh, I hope not. I got the boat bay. I think that is the skimmer. Okay, so look at that. After 2 hours, I've already lost 10 credits. But hey, I got through customs okay. If you refuse to pay, yeah, well, I'm not going to do that. Any animal, there we go. So we're done. So we're going to try again. That was hour number 2. We're going to move on to hour number 3 of the first day. And on a result of 3, we get rule 330. R330. Oh. Well, that's a little different. R330. I'm at R330, aren't I? Negative. R330 is, here we go, there's still more. Map for entry. You come across a map that seems to show a way to get into a land area on the planet without detection. Select any one land area on the planet as this area. When you attempt entry, you can use this map route. If you do, roll 1d6. All right, so that's where we got to start making notes on our paper. We have a map, and we got to look at the planet, right? So here's where I wish I had those cards, so I can put them together and see what this planet looks like. This is going to be awkward without them. Showing, and then I'm just going to put here, R3... Oh, that's the wrong one. Son of a gun. R330. You learn the name of whom to bribe for entering one area on this planet when you actually enter that area. Determine the precise size of the bribe needed by multiplying the base price of the factor. Obtained from table R241. So we take this... by paying this bribe, you are assured of entering the area without detection. Do not roll for detection on any area. Okay. You learn the name, so we're going to take this and we're going to... The wealth code in... So 4. It's going to be whatever the wealth code is. It's going to be that. I think. But we need to look at Regari, and that means going back to... What's the wealth code of Regari? In this case, it's R207A. So we can come back here and learn a little bit more about our home place. It says, Regari is once a key center of industrial development. Regari is now a hint of its past glory. People live a poorer lifestyle, and the system has suffered a serious economic depression. There is little system defense, and breakdown of equipment is commonplace. System entry, well, we're already here. Its wealth is 0. Okay. The layout is JK, gravity 3, and it's got good air. So, going back here, wealth is 0. By cross-referencing this table, we see that it's going to be compared D6 with the wealth code to determine the base price multiplier is 1. Multiply the base price by the factor obtained. So where's my base price? Is that not in my, it's not in here? Base price should be here. It's not. Fortunately, the errata is online. Let me look that up real quick. We'll be right back. Hey, this is easier than I expected. Regari has a base wealth of 0. See this base price right here? It's 25. The sharp-eyed viewers were looking at that 25 going, come on, Mr. Wargaming. So with a wealth code of 0, I rolled a 4. The base price is 25. So 4, you learn the name, determine the size of the bribe needed. So I can land, and I'm just going to declare the spaceport, because I think that's where we're going to go most often. So this is not a map. What I have is bribe at Regari Spaceport. And that's going to be $25 dues for free entry. I'm going to call it free entry, but I think we understand that that means that I don't have to roll for encounters, and I can just kind of slip on in for $4.25. So that's what I learned for that hour, and then I'm going to advance my clock by, 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th encounter, potential encounter in the starport. And with a 3, I already know that information. So then I'm going to do my 5th, and on a 2, we go to event 409. And then we'll advance this to the 5th one. Event 409. Wait, was that event 409? Or rule 409? Sometimes I get confused. Event 409. Gotta go to the event book. Religious fanatics. You meet the spokesman of an unusual religious cult on New Karma. The cult is on New Karma. He wishes to arrange passage for their missionaries, one person to every other system in the sector. You pick up the 9 missionaries at a New Karma spaceport and deliver each to any rural area or city at the destination, and you're paid 2,500 Cs from a local bank. Since the cult believes in the daily sacrifice of domestic animals, you must carry 1 cubic unit of animals for each day of any missionary service aboard. They will provide animals in whatever quantity you request, but will deduct 100 Cs from the total paid for each extra animal requested but not used during travel. If a day occurs in which a sacrifice is not performed, all missionaries on board commit suicide and no more payments are possible. For each day any missionary is aboard, they will provide the animals whatever quantity you request. Okay. This takes a day of rest. Do I want to take this gig? This is quite a pretty big chunk of change, right? We're looking at almost 22.5. Is that right? Every pair of them is 5,000. We're looking at almost 20,000 credits. That's pretty good, but we're going to have to fly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we're going to have to drop them all off. Now, how long is that going to take? Man, I don't know. We should probably look at the rules for a space jump, okay? Remember, we only have 6 fuel cells for that space jump. So before I decide, let's read up on that. Yeah, I got to turn them down because I don't have enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're 5 jumps away. My last jump would get me to here, and then... it's $2,500 just to get to pick them up from where I am right now. Maybe if we were doing alternate pattern number 2, that would make more sense. We could jump down to New Karma, but with this, it just doesn't make sense. We're going to try again. And on the 5, that is going to be spaceport number 5, event 2002, we're not wanted. And then we get the 3 on the spaceport, and that's event 185. This time, we are going to encounter Hold up, men. If you're traveling with 2 or more companions, the result is no encounter. Otherwise, you're accosted by 2 men who hold you up, trying to take all your money and possessions. You can give it to them, or you can fight. Well, I want to see what happens if we fight. Hold up, men. Ooh, I wonder if this will get me... Because I still have 420 credits. 440 credits. No, because I haven't bribed anybody yet. I just learned how to. So the hold up men... if you fight, each hold up man is E7, M5, H5. One with a sidearm. Oh, we'll do this. Sidearm. This guy is E7, M5, H5, and he's got a heavy hand weapon. CR210 for what tech level they're at. So hopefully they're not like crazy high tech levels. I might be getting mugged by like, I don't know. They might be, basic chumps, slug throwers, and they might be high tech Dude Bros. Vehicles and equipment. There are various ways to travel. Wait a minute. See R210. Some level equipment show each item of equipment has a tech level ranging from 1 to 6. When you find, purchase, or encounter someone using an item, refer to the tech level R235. Man, this is like doing legal research. R235. The party in subpart A versus the party in subpart B has to R2. Here we go. Tech level equipment. Die roll. Tech code of the SAR system. The tech code of Regari is 30. So they are going to be tech level on a 3. It's tech level 2. Oh my gosh. So those guys. Now all I have is tech level 1. These two ne'er-do-wells have bushwhacked me. And the way this works, I can't figure out what the heavy hand weapon does different. Other than, I should point out, I probably should explain this before, your cargo hold has limited space, 60 cubic units. A heavy sidearm takes up one of those, and you could sell it later. But there ain't no way that's going to happen, because the way combat works is take your marksmanship, add the tech level of the weapon you're using. You got to get that result or less on a 2d6. So these guys who have bushwhacked me, because their tech level is higher, they're going to get the first shots. We're looking to see if they can roll a 7 or less. So the first guy hits. The second guy misses, they do 1 point of damage, and then I'm going to run away. In combat, you're either in hand-to-hand combat, you're at shooting distance. Because we're still at shooting distance, I'm going to forego my attack, and I'm going to try to run away. And to do that, I need to get a 4 or better. All right, so I've escaped from these hold-up men. And then we advance to the next hour. But, I did eat a little bit of Tech 2, so we're going to go ahead and make our endurance level 9. And then we're going to roll again for our next encounter is going to be 4 system. So here we go. Because the result is system, I got to drop down to this level. I'm in Regari, and I'm going to roll a d6. And on a 5, on a 3, 4, 5, we have event 147, which is attack by beggars. Your party, that's me, is engulfed by a crowd of beggars. Irate because they're obvious you are better off than they are. What? I'm 120 grand in debt. Roll 2d6, multiply by 5. I hope I roll low. All right, that's 25. How much money you must throw at them to drive away? If you don't, d6 times 4 will attack you. Oh, they're not very tough, but they just want to steal. All right, so I got to pay off the 25. That takes me down to 415. And boy howdy, that is half of the results on this Regari system table. Man, advance the clock to 7. 6 is going to be a result of R2050. Rule 205. I hope this is my contact. LMNO, spaceport, the normal landing port for start banking facilities are present. Each roll, let's see. It is the standard location to purchase ships and equipment, as well as hiring a ship's crew. So what is this? We're at the spaceport. We gotta roll 2d6. Could I have just done that instead of looking for contact? Is that what happens here? I don't know. Either way, we're there now, so I'm gonna roll 2d6. And on a result of 9, GM Robots, event 037. What is a GM robot? I'm guessing it's not general mechanics. Refer to the appropriate paragraph in the specific item and its base price. In some cases, what is the base price? You can only buy or sell. Determine tech level for Rule 210. So let's see what tech level robots we have. Our wealth, our tech level is 30, so we're going to roll a d6. And on a 6, holy cats, tech level 5. Its base price, go to Rule 229A. So we go back here to 229. Buying, selling, most events give cost. To determine the actual price, roll a d6. Let's see, the price is normally listed as the base in C's. To determine the actual price, compare it with system's wealth codes. We roll the D6, compare it to the wealth code. Well, wait a minute. What's the base price of a GM bot? The base price is going to be 200. Okay, so that's our base price. We can buy some boys with a base price of 200. Then roll a D6 and compare it to the wealth code, which is 0. And then you look at your cross-reference here to the base price multiplier. And on a 5, it's times 1. So they cost 200 apiece. Oh boy. I can probably buy one of them. Premium prices. Well, what does the tech code do for that? So we can buy one GM bot for $200. And I think we got to do it. It says here they. Some case you can buy or sell, blah, 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 blah. Event 037. Oh, no, wait a minute. I got event 037, right? These GM bots, each one is 20S to buy, 100S to sell, base price. Oh, okay. That's the base price, so I can buy at 20. So how many of these can I get at 20? The base price is 20. They're Tech 5. We'll have to check the rules on 222. So I got GM bots. Buy-in at 20 credits apiece. What the heck are these things anyway? R222. And I guess the tech doesn't make any difference. That's how much they cost. These are general maintenance bots. Can perform preventative maintenance on all items within a... Cannot perform repairs. A GM bot cannot function on equipment whose tech level is higher than the robot. Can maintain other, but cannot maintain itself nor units. Operating cost is 2S per 10-day week. But, all right, so what I can do, I got 400 credits, remember. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to buy 15 of these bad boys. What is their, because it's a robot, it's 100 to sell, huh? But I don't have anywhere to sell these yet. I think you have to go to... I think you have to encounter this again, right? Event 3037 is just buying... All right, we're going for it. I'm down to 115 credits. I spent 300 on GM bots. Filled up a quarter of my hold. All right? All right, we're going for it. I filled up my hold. Well, not filled up. I only bought 15 of them. I could buy 60 if I had the money, but I'm down to 115 credits. I'm going to see if I can buy one more thing before I jet on out of here and fly off to Palatech. Before I wrap up the video, I want to show you what happens when you do a hyper jump, okay? In the meantime, what we need to look at is it's going to be the next day, and I got to roll on this chart. And remember that I'm hoping for a 6. And remember, I'm hoping for a 6. And remember, I'm hoping for a 6. The 2 is an E409, which I don't remember what that is. Do I have to pay off some more bums again? Very typical. I must have hit the ATM and they were waiting for me. E409, looking for some space crack. Religious fanatics, yeah, I can't deal with your stuff. So we advance again, and on a 4, we are going to be back to the system. Oh, this is the space bums. No, E2122. If I'd rolled a 4, 3, 4, 5, they would have soaked me for another 25. Regari, Event 122. Prospective crewman. You meet an impoverished person anxious to leave the system. He'll join your crew free if you take him permanently off planet. He is wanted if you ever return. Well, hell yeah, we're going to do that. Why wouldn't you? Roll a d6. And on a 6, we've got a retired merchant supply officer who can drive a skimmer and has experience in jury-rigged equipment making deals. His presence will add 1 to your cunning. His presence with equipment reduces the tech level by 1 for breakdown purposes. All right, so we got ourselves a crewman. And old Jimmy, the supply officer. Jimmy, I guess we're just going to call him for now. Jimmy Supplies. He's wanted in Regari, so if we ever come back here, we got to keep that in mind. He is a skimmer driver, and he can... What else do we got here? He has experience in jury-rigged equipment. His president, +1 to cunning, and -1 to tech level breakdown, which is what we're going to have happen here. It doesn't say anything else about him. Oh! Retired merchant blind, reduced 1. It doesn't give any, like, stats for him. That's a little weird, isn't it? I guess he's not a fighter. He's gonna just kind of hang out on the ship, I guess. And then he gives us a +1 cunning and -1 tech level checks at the end of the day. We got one more roll, and we got one more roll. So we got one more roll, hoping for that big 6. We got one more roll, hoping for that big 6. We got one more roll, hoping for the 6. E019. That means E019. We're going to take it. Customs inspection. We did that. Rolled D6 to determine what's being inspected. Liquor. I ain't got none. So that doesn't do anything. Now it's the end of the day. We got to check for breakdown on all of our tech level 5 robots, which are now tech level 4 because we got a little maintenance bro. You only check for the stuff you used that day. Since I didn't use any of these, you don't have to worry about it. Got it. That brings us to day number 2 of week number 1, and we want to get the heck out of Dodge. We're going to Polytech. We're going to try to land. All right, we got to move out, and that means, so the way this works is that you, interestingly enough, sublight drives to move within a star system. It can be used without limit, provided the starship has 1 hypercharge. Okay, so we're going to spend 3 hours, 1, 2, 3, making sublight moves. So we're going to move out, and then you can be safely used by undamaged ships from 4 moves out. Okay, so moving to orbit, and then we move out, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that costs us 5 hours. Then we're going to use our jump drive, which if you're in a hurry, if you want to jump from the surface of a planet, you roll a d6, and on a 5 or less, bad stuff happens. Now, we've moved out, so we don't have to worry about the bad stuff. But for future reference, if you only want to move out 2 steps, all right, then your 2 jump lights out. On a 2 or less, you have a problem. Blam, we have issues, okay? Like I said, we moved the safe distance, we jumped into Polytech, and then we moved 1, 2, 3, 4 back down. Now, because before we jumped down, we have to do our system entry roll. Polytech attempted to replace the technological preeminence of Regari, but went to such extremes. Toxic effluents poisoned the atmosphere. Despite scientific efforts, respiratory diseases remain a common cause of death. Respiratory diseases remain a common cause of death. I probably should have put a trigger warning in this for this year of our Lord 2021. Oh, maybe they're fake respiratory diseases. System defense is largely under corporate control. Wow, are we sure this isn't Pala Earth? Ha ha ha. And emphasizes protection against industrial espionage and absolute control over information technology. I added that last bit just because it seemed appropriate. So we jump into the system, we see what happens. And on a 1, we go to event 092. Event 092. Passed after radio contact. Hey, it takes no time. You enter the system. They basically said, hey, what are you doing? And I say, I'm selling robots. And they're like, cool, bro. And then we go down to Regari, and we're going to land at the spaceport, and we're going to start making our checks. Now, I didn't use anything, so we're just going to check on that contact table, and we get a 4. We're at the spaceport. That means system. Now, because we're in Regari, Polytech, we've got a different class of encounters. Instead of event 122, 147, it's 126, 151, 139, depending on what we roll. With a 3, that common is event 151. And 151 is going to be respiratory disease. You've spent too much time on Polytech and contracted a disease. causes the permanent loss of your endurance point. For each additional day you spend, you suffer 1 extra hit, but no further permanent loss, even if you return. The disease is incurable. Oh, that's fantastic. So my maximum endurance goes down to 9, and my current, I guess, is permanent, right? My current is going to go to 8. So I've only got 1 day, but I didn't take any time. That's the good news. And this time we get a 6, which is going to be R205. So we're going to roll on our buying and selling chart. And on R205, now, if we are lucky, we are looking for a 9. Hey, look at that! It's a 9! Oh my god, it's amazing. I can't believe it. It was kind of cocked, but whatever. Like I said, I want you to see how this works, okay? So again, the result of 9 means we've got GM robots. What a coincidence. Go to event 037. Now remember that we said that it costs 100 to sell these, but that's the base price. You have to look at where you're at. Remember, we bought on Regari with a wealth of 0. Now we've got a wealth of 30. So we go back to our wealth chart over here to find out. Well, that's tech code. Where's wealth? It's the next page. All right. So that means we got to roll our base price multiplier. With a 5, our wealth code of 30, cross-referenced, is times 3, which means these robots with a base price of 100 to sell are going to sell for $300 a pop. And just like that. Now, I think we should save one of these. I'm going to put one general maintenance bot because GM bot, it adds to my crew. I can have him do repairs while I'm off doing other things. So if I sell these 1,400 GM bots, 1,400, 14 times 3 is going to be 42. And all right, look at that. I'm up to 4,315 credits just like that. Now, I say just like that, but bear in mind, we got phenomenally lucky to score this 4,315. The good news is we've got enough money to pay. We can go to the bank. We can deduct 300, and we don't have to worry about the interest for this week. That's fantastic. We can even pay down our ship by 1,000. So if I were to say, all right, I've got 3,015 credits. Oh, by the way, I used up one of my jump pods. Now, I don't like it here because I don't want to keep taking hits of damage. So I may go ahead and then tomorrow, at the end of the day, I would lose another endurance. I don't want to lose that. So tomorrow, I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I guess I should put down my loan, because I made a payment, is at, well, you know what? We'll go 3,315 for now. My loan is now at 119,000 credits. I paid off 1. If I can make 120 more phenomenally lucky scores like that, I'll be sitting pretty. So if you ever decide to try this game, I recommend stick around for 4 or 5 days, maybe a week. Fill up your cargo hold with what you can, wide mix of things, and then blast over to Polytech, where they will buy things for a higher sum than you bought it on Regari. Very clever game design. Buy low, sell high. They make it a little bit easy on you, despite the fact that you are just as likely to get robbed as you are to find anything worth buying. Like I said, we cruise on out, we burn a fuel cell, and we have 4 jumps left. And we go over to Byzantium. Now we're in Byzantium, and we got to make a contact check. So we go back over here to our description of each individual unit. Byzantium, a old society exists here, noted for political intrigue and complexity. Vigilant secret police and underground dungeons that none are said to leave. It is known as a dangerous system, unless one has the right connection. So we roll a d6 for the system entry. And event 106. You receive a distress call from a starship in trouble. You may ignore it, and must if your communications are inoperative. You may move toward it, spending 1 hour in sublight. That's what we're going to do. See event 193. Takes 1 hour per die roll. When you reach the starship, you see extensive damage in its engineering compartment with gas all around. You decide to dock, send over a boarding party. It's going to be my supply officer and my robot. For each hour you spend aboard, roll 1d6 once. You can stay and continue rolling until 2 hours past the normal end of the day, or until a result prohibits further rolls. So each person in the party saves one person on the damaged ship, and then heavy explosions. All right, so I'm going to go over 2. All 3 of us are going. And I roll a d6. And on a 5, save 2 people in the crew quarters. All right, so we've saved 2. And that took, was that 1 hour? For each hour, yep. I'm going to spend another hour. And I roll a 2. Each person in the party saves 1 person. Then heavy explosions begin. So we save 5 people. And we've got enough room for 7 on the ship altogether. I've got crew quarters, 16 cubic units, and it takes 2 per person, so I can hold 8. I've got 7 on the ship right now. That's okay. Oh, here's my secret storage areas. I've got 6 of them. Insurance reward. For the people saved from the ship, you will get 500 per person base payment when you land them on any planet. Well, hey, howdy, hey. 1, 2, 3, 4 to get down, and then 5. I'm going to land on Byzantium, and look at that. 5 times 500. I am up to a whopping 5,815 credits. That ain't bad. I'm immediately going to go and pay down another. What do you think? I'm going to pay down 2,000 more. I'm at 117. And that still gives me 3,815 credits for doing stuff. I'm in the starport. And I've used 1, 2. I'm in Byzantium. And then we go back to our old friend, Mr. Encounter checks on the day. We're still in the spaceport. And as you can see, different areas. You can go to the military and maybe pick up some weapons to smuggle. We're not going to do that. We're going to re-roll that. And on a result of 1 in the spaceport, event 019 is going to be... I think that's the... Oh, yeah, that's the... Makes sense that that's common. That's the customs inspection. I'm not hauling anything anymore. So I don't know what that does. I rolled a 6. Any radioactives? Well, I don't have any of those. So we'll advance the clock by another hour. I'll put it over here where you can see it. We'll roll a 3 this time, and that means R330. Oh, it's not bandits, is it? R330. Oh. Spaceport. R330. Bribe for entry. You learn the name of who to bribe for entering one area. Well, the spaceport. Determine the price size of the bribe needed by multiplying the base price. So this bribe means that I don't have to roll on that D6 table when you arrive. Without detection. Do not roll for detection or an entry encounter as normally required. Right, so Byzantium has a... This is actually a good thing to get. System wealth code of 50, system entry... Ooh, I probably should have had some more stuff before I came here. Wealth code of 50, I'm not going to be able to afford whatever it is. The base price of the bribe is 25, and then we roll on our wealth code, and on a 4, it's going to cost her 75. You know what? I'm going to pay for it. 75 is going to knock my total wealth down to 3740. Wait. Yeah, 3740. And now I can bribe at the Byzantium spaceport. Oh, I just learned. Oh, never mind. It's actually 75 credits. So I don't pay that now. I pay that every time I land. 38.15. And then we advance the clock. We roll a 5 on our encounter table. Spaceport 5. Event 002. Repo team. Doesn't do me any harm. I'm not wanted yet. Event 409. I don't know if I've seen this one yet, have we? Religious fanatics. Well, we're getting warmer, but I want to buy some more stuff. Boy, they really are fanatical, aren't they? And then 2 is going to be R330, which is the guy we already found. 6 is going to be... Oh, good. Advance that too. The 6 means we get to buy and sell. And at an 11, I think that's what that means, R2050. Yep. You're rolling 11, or is this hiring people? R205, Starship Pilot Navigator. Oh, we can hire a pilot. E066. What do you know about that? We are assembling quite the little collection of a crew here, aren't we? E066. Pilot. Oh. Did I just find the... Gunner, engineer, E066. Yeah, here we go. All right, so here's our pilot. Oh, no, that's not our pilot. This is our pilot. He's a pilot navigator, an 066. He's got endurance of D6. So he's got an endurance of 5. He's got a marksmanship of 5 and a hand-to-hand of 4. Wow, he's about as tough as they come. Base salary 20 per week unless piloting within stasis units, which requires base price blah blah. He requires a 20 bonus, and death payment is 200 unless he's from the slums, which he is not. So it's going to cost me 20 per week. I'm going to put status, it's just going to be 20 per week. So at the end of every week, I'm going to have to cough up 20 or else he will bail. And I got to pay him 20 right now for a signing bonus, which we can afford because we got off to a blazing start thanks to a series of lucky die rolls. I'm going to do a couple of more rolls here and then we're going to call it quits for the day. I got a 1 on our events table, which is the guys come by to inspect again. Customs says, well, can't you find a thing? And then customs again. So we're all set. At the end of... We'll make some notes here in case we ever come back to this. But now you can kind of see how this game works and how complicated it is. I think that's about enough of that. I've shown you enough of the basics of this game. We got lucky and we made a little bit of money. We paid down our loan a little bit. You can see how things start to snowball. We now have a pilot. I don't know what that does if we get involved in any ship-to-ship combat. We had a couple of good rolls, you know, thanks to the fickle finger of fate helped us out a little bit, admittedly. But you saw how combat works and you saw how complicated the game gets. That's not a complaint. These complex games can be a lot of fun. I don't know that it makes for great watching, so I don't know if we're going to revisit this later. But at least you had a chance to see how this game works. And if you want to download a copy and give it a shot for yourself, take a little more time. Think about what you're doing. Take a little better notes. Don't worry so much about, you know, some faceless viewer enjoying himself as you crack wise about Plague Planets. It's a great time. It's a great way to play a complex game, stretch your brain muscles a little bit, go after a challenge. Highly recommended. Link in the description. I'm praying for you.